What's up, guys? It's Missy. I am back with another SimCity Buildit video. This is part 2 to answering George Willis's questions that he has. This video became very long, but he had a lot of honestly really good questions because a lot of people are in the position that he is in or having the same misunderstandings that he has. So I'm just going to continue on with his questions. I think we're almost to the end of, all of the questions that he had for me. And then it says, let's just read on. It says, the biggest mistake I made was when I didn't realize that all of the Spanish homes were useless before I built them. Okay, so let me look at what he has here. So he's got 460 storage. It looks like you did not buy the premium pass, which honestly at this point I would not either. You do have at least one Maxis there, I can tell. And you've got 2,500 cash. You've got some keys, so I'm taking it that you have won the contest at least once or twice, maybe even 3 or 4 times. Let's see. You've got those clip trays. Those are not going to be able to be converted into epics until those are dealt with. And let's see. Yeah, you've got a few Latin homes there at the bottom. Let's see. Honestly, I don't think he had Latin zones back in 2015 when I first played. It's at level 38 and more or less a disaster. War deliveries are horrendous for that city, and CoM is better off done when Metro with that city, but mainly I just neighbor it and keep hard to find items there so I don't get too frustrated with the never-ending lack of storage. So yeah, I'm glad I caught up to your videos because I was about to level up to 30 and I would have been irritated after that fact. Okay, let's see. This here says, okay, right here. So this is his level 29 city. He's got 34 tasks left, 1 day, 8 hours. So right here, I would forfeit your whole week. It's garbage. And I'm just trying to be honest with you, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why it's garbage. You have not allowed yourself enough time to finish all of your tasks efficiently. I don't know if you're in a a club that does war, but right now, you need to clear all 34 of those tasks and tickets efficiently by making all the right choices in 1 day and 8 hours to be able to say that you gave it your all and did the best that you could, right? If you're playing the Contest of Mayors at this pace weekly, this is not going to work, okay? You have got to pick up the pace. You should basically have been done with the contest by now. You should have been on your tickets and maybe had like 3 or 4 tickets left and deliberately left them there because of the fact that you were holding off. That's where you should be at this time zone, okay? Looking at your list, I'm going to do a breakdown. Let's just pretend that you have 3 days left. So let's pretend that you're in Mega under all of the same circumstances that you have now, except for the time is a little bit different. Let's just pretend that, okay? Or let's just pretend that you're just going to continue playing competitively. You have a 1,000 monster. That's crossed off. That's not going to be touched at all for the rest of the contest. You have a 1,200 disaster. That is your rotatable task. A 1,200 Latin. That's at a perfect placement because it's low value and you're camping. You have an expand city area, which I don't know if you have the dozer to do that, but that is one of your next choices if you do. You have an 1,800 cargo, which is holding that 2K placement value, so that is definitely going to be in the rotatable tasks. Then you have a 1,650 earned simoleons task, which is absolutely going to need rotated. You have a 1,200 epic, which at this point I probably would not do that because of the fact that there's Easter items that are unlocked. You have regionals unlocked. You're already on a major setback, and that I would consider at this point with your particular game, I would not be doing that right now. You have an upgrade Old Town building, which is a low value, so you can go ahead and stick that to the side and not worry about it. You have the coins, which honestly, given the time frame that you're in, that would be ideal. But we're pretending that you are on a normal time frame, and that would be a rotatable, last option rotatable task. The chemicals are for 2 rounds, or no, 1 round at your level, sorry, but they are very low value, and they do not meet the requirements for rotation. You have an upgrade Green Valley and an upgrade Design Challenge, which would both be not touched. So, going back through the list super quick, you have a Earn Leafs task, which is rotatable, the Earn Coins, which is rotatable, and then you have the Repair, the Expansion, and the Cargo. Out of those listed assignments, which ones hold the highest value? That would be the Expand City and the Cargo. Cargo is not premium, but it's holding that 2K value. If you do not have enough dozer to complete the land expansion, then you would go with Cargo, okay? However, if, given the circumstances, by your time frame, you need to get that, you should have already had that regional currency task completed, because that one has the best opportunity for you. For instance, if we're going for points and opportunity, the real correct choice here would be to get that regional task done. Okay, so going based off the rules of rotation, we're saying points, opportunity trumps points. Well, if you can't do the dozer, then it's stuck sitting there holding one of your very important 2K values. So it then becomes between Cargo and regional. Now, you're sacrificing a couple of points, a couple 100 points, to open up better opportunity by doing that regional currency task versus the Cargo, which you're going to be rotating soon anyways, right? So regional would be your next bet. It opens up the best opportunity, it's holding one of your 2K placements, and it's that's your next choice, Then if nothing better would present itself, then you would go with Cargo. Or if you magically got enough dozer, then you would do the dozer. Now, that's how you do a breakdown, okay? Everybody's game is going to be different, and the details are going to be different, but you need to know at what point does opportunity trump value, or value trump opportunity, and that is the rules of rotation. That's when you have to determine, when is it okay to sacrifice a couple 100 points for the greater good, or when should I bank in on those points because I don't really need to open up opportunity yet because I'm running out of tasks. So there's no sense in opening up opportunity for an opportunity that you can't bank in on, right? Under these circumstances, the rules of rotation, you are within the 50 tasks completed, right? So between 1 and 50 tasks, the rules of rotation state that you would want to go for opportunity over value. So there you go. That's how you would break it down. Okay. Let's go down to your list here. It says, my notes say to avoid chemicals, but the rest are non-premium, so I don't think chemicals are up next. No, chemicals are not up next. You would not be doing chemicals under pretty much any circumstances. Those are absolutely out for pretty much the rest of the contest. Is there some possible way that you could probably be put into a position where you may do them? Maybe, but it would be an extremely rare occurrence. I never cross anything off 100% unless it's something like the monster for 1,000, right? That would be a very good example of something that I would cross off forever. Same thing as like the Latin for 1,200, right? So what I had said to you was, my first assessment was that you're running out of time. You've moved way too slow this week, right? You have regionals unlocked. Your next pick would be the regional currency because you will likely not finish on time, and it really could be canceled, to be honest, right? So given the time frame that you're in, realistically, I don't think that you're going to be able to play efficiently unless you all of a sudden became a pro. Could I clear 34 tasks with the time that you have left? Yes. But for somebody who had 4 days, it doesn't make sense why you're moving so slow. The purpose is not to move so slow and take forever and then, you know, go too quickly near the end and then screw up. That's not a good plan. So let's see. Let's go back to what we got. Okay, so it looks like that is pretty much it when it comes to the questions that you had on this particular thread. Honestly, a lot of the questions and misunderstandings that you have are things that I've explained in a lot of my videos. There's several, you know, hundreds of hours of videos. I know it's a lot of information, so don't feel bad, you guys. I mean, it's going to take time to understand, but I want to show you guys a couple of things here. So you had mentioned in the beginning parts of your questions that you wanted me to touch base on the rules of rotation. And I do have a video about this, but I'm going to give you a quick breakdown. Within the first 1 to 50 tasks, rule 1 is opportunity is greater than value. Meaning that if you have a task such as 1080 flour versus a 1200 repair, the repair is higher than the flour, but the flour opens better opportunity. So you're sacrificing 120 points for the greater good to open up something better, right? So flour would be the correct choice here. Now, rule 2 is that value and opportunity are equal. So let's say that you have a London flight for 1,000 and a Tokyo for 1,000, but Tokyo has been sitting longer. Tokyo would be the correct choice because you want to open up those doorways that have been sitting for a while. Every time you do a task, it has the ability to open up X amount of opportunities. When you work the same placement, the same exact task spot all the time, it limits the opportunities available to you, which is why you'll notice when you click like something at the bottom of your list and you do it, or you just pick something random or whatever, you'll notice all of a sudden you start getting better tasks and you're like, well, had I just continued to work my highest tasks, I would have just continued to get garbage, right? And that's where a lot of high-level CoM players have the most difficulty, because when you're a high-level CoM player, a lot of people follow the do your highest task rule, which for the most part is correct, but more often than not, sometimes you got to scramble things up a bit. And for a high-level CoM player, more often than not, you usually are working 3 different task placements, and it's really easy to fall into the working one placement. And when you do that, it can be a major setback. For instance, let's say you have a 2400 keys task or something, and you do the 2400 key task. And then you get a 2400 repair, and you do that. And you have all of these 1000 upgrades in your list, right? If you were to do the like 1000 Green Valley upgrade, it would more than likely kick back a 3K task. Whereas before, you kept dropping your points values because you just kept working the highest task only. So you got to know when to open up a new door and when not to. Now, for these particular rules of rotation, these are for level 24 to 29 players without regionals. Some of these rules do apply to you, even though you have regionals unlocked, but not all of them. So you have to know which ones do and which ones don't, and it can be really difficult to understand. Rule 3 is if value is 2K or higher, then value is greater than opportunity for limited 2K placement. Okay, so what does this mean? This means that what I said is if the value of the task is 2,000 points or higher, then you would do that task over a task presenting opportunity because of that limited 2K placement. If you can hypothetically only have 4 tasks worth right around 2,000 points, then you would not allow a 2K keys task to sit and do a 1,650 regional currency task because it's holding that 2K value. It's holding that 2K placement. So it doesn't make sense for you to not do it, right? Now, that's what that means. So if you look at the example here, it says repair for 2,000 over flour for 1080. Repair would be correct. So when you first posted your your list, before the one that we just looked at, there was a list, I believe it had a 2,000 keys task in it, and you had asked what the correct choice was, and somebody had told you, I believe they said land expansion, which was not correct. The correct choice would have been the repair for 2,000. You could do the land expansion, but I mean, either way, if you had the dozer, yes, you could do it. That's totally fine. But either way, the repair would need done anyways. And they both hold the 2K value. So you want to clear anything that's worth 2,000 points. If you're picking between a 2,000 monster over a 1,000 Green Valley, you're going to pick the 2,000 monster because you need to get that done, right? It's holding that 2K value. That's what that rule means. Tasks to 10 to 0 remaining, meaning tickets not included. So you've done 50 tasks and you're on your last 10 tasks. Opportunity trumps value, unless 2K or higher. So this is the time when you rotate anything you can to open up opportunities for when you get to your tickets. When you get to your tickets, opportunity. Okay, so when you get to your tickets, this will change. So what ends up happening is, I think the full picture, it's going to be hard for you guys to see. Okay, it says when you get to your tickets, that will change. Tickets, value trumps opportunity. Extreme caution when canceling. Okay, so what this means is you're on your last 10 tasks remaining, and you have, let's say, a war booster for 1,000, but you have, let's say, a 1,600 bricks task. Okay, the 1,600 bricks task is something that should be rotated, but the war booster opens up better opportunity. So we would more than likely, depending on what we had going on, when the war was going to be ending, what the rest of your task list looked like, we would consider rotating out that war booster to bring in higher possibilities. So if we continue to bank in on 1,400 tasks or 1,500 tasks now, just to add a couple points here and a couple points there, then what ends up happening is when you get to your tickets, you're still trying to open up opportunities. You want to rotate out any of your rotatables. So let's say that you have, you do a task assessment and you see that you have 3 rotatable tasks, but you have, let's say, something that you would normally do in a different setting because it holds a higher value. As long as that value is not 2,000 points or higher, then you would go for the opportunity for these 10 tasks. Once you've opened up all of your opportunities, you will hit your tickets. Once you hit tickets, value trumps opportunity. So you get to your tickets and you have, let's say, 5 tickets left. You're presented with that same exact scenario where you're going for bricks for 1,600 versus a 1,000 war booster. It doesn't make sense to go with the war booster because that opens opportunity and you only have so many tasks left. So you really need to cash in as much as you can right now, being how you're running out of tasks. It doesn't make sense to open up opportunity if you're not going to be able to bank in on it, right? So the last 15 tickets, it's really important that you get as many points in as possible. Let's say that you are on your final ticket and you have a coins task worth 1,500 points, and you have, let's say, a flower task worth 1,400 points. Why would you do the 1,400 flower when you could do the 1,500 coin? It's your final task. You want to add as many points as possible. Do you know how many people don't make that connection and they just do the premium? Like, why did you do that? Oh, it was premium. Who gives a shit? You're going for maximum points and you just banked in on a task based on its opportunity when the opportunity had no benefit to you. It doesn't matter if it poses opportunity if you're not able to benefit from it, right? That's the rules of rotation. I have a video where I go through it a little bit more in detail, but that's the general gist of it. Okay, I'm going to be talking about this Pink Princess castle here in a little bit, but that'll be in a separate video. There is something that I wanted to show you though, and that is the quick guide here. So this here is the links to all the guides. I did fix the link for the production plan, okay? But this is the quick guide for the Contest of Mayors, the quick one that I wrote up. Level 18 to 24 players only, okay? Big red letters. Now, this I break down, I go through, and I tell you everything that you need to know about each individual task. I have a video where I go through and I explain what all of this stuff means, okay? This, coupled with the rules of rotation, you should be able to pretty much pick any task correctly if you follow this particular guide, okay? Now, this stuff here, it gets a little bit more confusing with the house upgrade, so I have a separate video about that. But that is pretty much the gist of it, okay? So that's where you find that, and then that pretty much concludes everything that I had to talk about to answer your questions. So for those of you who are wondering, a lot of the videos on the channel, they have the links in the description of the video, and they're on our Facebook page. You type in SimCity Buildit, MissyAnne, and you click join, and then when I see your member request, I will go ahead and approve it. And then if you advertise that you are willing to hack people's cities, you will be blocked and removed from the group. If you see people doing that, please report it. You just click the comment and click report to admins. And that way I'm aware of it and I can deal with it. Okay? Yeah, that pretty much is it. So I'm going to go ahead, get this posted, get that video where I talk about the Pink Princess Castle. And then I have a shit ton of design pictures that I pulled from Reddit and from random websites where I can show you guys some different types of design ideas, and there's probably like 200 or more photos. So hey, maybe it's your city that'll be on there, who knows? But I'm going to be talking about some of the design ideas.